that strike. Has Anthony Martial really been exiled from the squad, or is that a load of nonsense? We're definitely going to talk about that. We had some updates on a couple of centre-back targets. I'm interested to see who the lads would go for. Could Chupo Moting be the next striker at United, the next kind of loanee to kind of waltz his way through the door? And there's a bit of news about Kambwala potentially going out on loan or maybe staying at United for the rest of the season. So I want to discuss them four mainly, but there are a couple of other little bits. We'll just hit this straight on, lads, with the Martial kind of thing that's come out, because obviously what happens on Twitter nowadays is something gets put out there, people jump on it, and it becomes like almost like an attack. Whoever it is, regardless of Martial, whoever it is, right? It just turns into like a full blown fucking he's doing this, he's doing that, and then what actually happens after like 2-3 days of sitting on it? This is what I've learned now, because I've done that many shows. Something will come out to kind of balance it out, and then we can kind of talk about it after it. So Martial's agent Philip Landboli put a statement out saying basically that what is said about him is completely false. He was not excluded from the group, and he has no problem with the coach at all. Anthony's been in Manchester for 9 seasons, and if he was not a great professional, then he would not have been at the club for so long. He's simply going to undergo a small operation on his adductors, which he should have done for a while, and which did not allow him to be 100%, so he will do it now. Anthony will not leave and will stay until his contract ends in June. Which, by all accounts, Chivy, is fair enough. Once the dust settles, not immediately, but after he goes, what do you think they'll say about him?
Sorry, you kind of froze there before you asked your question, so I missed it.
You hear me, yeah?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine, yeah. But you froze shortly before you said it.
So what do you think people will say about Martial once the dust is settled and he inevitably leaves in the summer? What do you think the view will be on him after he goes? 9 seasons he's been here for.
I mean, I don't think the view would change that much amongst most United fans. People just seem to have formed this thing about him, and they don't rate him. And and I don't think that's going to change. I've been one of those people that has always stood up for him, because I felt that he's been unfairly treated by the fan base. I don't think anyone is above criticism, but I think the criticism that has been leveled toward him has been a little bit unfair to a certain extent. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, over the past 2 years, the injuries have been terrible. And I think based on that fact alone, if we can't rely on him, especially when we need like goals and stuff, then fair enough. He can leave. You know, we probably need to move on from him. But just a lot of the stuff that has been said about him, to be honest, has been really, really unfair. I didn't even know that. I know that the agent put out something now to say it was false, but I didn't know the full details. I'm just hearing it now. But when Sam had sent that screenshot of what was said yesterday, I quickly just checked, and then I saw there was like others. It was the same source, but everyone had a different narrative, and the way it was written was just that's just what encompasses what Martial has gone through. Try his season, try his stay at Man United. It's just, he just has this. He's calm. He's not one of those loud people. He doesn't do interviews, none of that stuff. And then people just kind of, I don't know why they just translate that into him being some kind of arrogant prick, or he's lazy. It's just the way he is, and people just don't understand that nature culturally. They don't seem to connect with that, and he's just been the scapegoat. So yeah, to answer your question,
can I ask you a question on that? Do you think you relate with him more, maybe because you're quite relaxed in that sense as well? Do you think that's maybe why you seem like a kind of similar things in that sense? I don't know if that's off the mark there, but...
Yeah, no, of course, there's a fair bit of that as well, because I've... quiet and relaxed and nonchalant, and people have always misunderstood that, even elders and, everyone have always misunderstood that for me being like arrogant, or I don't know, just aloof. But I'm not aloof, I'm always just there. But so I could kind of understand that. But then with him, I see that a lot, and it's a bit unfair when people say he's been here for 9 years. He's been here for 9 years, that's a fact, but he has never really been given that shot, that chance. When he was given the chance, Every time he was given the chance, he delivered. He gave us a FA Cup trophy. Without him, we don't win that FA Cup trophy. Then we bought Zlatan and gave him the number 9, and then pushed Martial aside. Zlatan left, we brought in Lukaku, gave him the number 9, pushed Martial aside. We got Falcao, we got Cavani, we got, you keep bringing all these people and not giving this guy a chance, and then but I'm never going to change anyone's opinion, and everyone is entitled to an opinion, to be fair, but I don't think he's going to be fondly remembered, sadly. And I'm one of the people that really, I can't wait for him to leave. Like, I really want him to just go and move on, and then we can look for someone else to blame next season.
Well, Sam, this is a player who's had a total of kind of 6 coaches, whether you want to include interims and permanents, of course. Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole, Carrick, Ragnick, and now Ten Hag, of course. Who do you think's got the best out of him?
I think Ole got quite a lot out of him. He had the season, didn't he, with him, Rashford and Mason. Is that during lockdown that season? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, 2019 to 21. I think.
Yeah,
it was lockdown. It was lockdown.
See, they seemed like they put it together, those 3, didn't they? And we were like getting excited. It's like, oh, this is the front 3 going forward, young, attacking, dynamic. Like this is gonna work. And then obviously different things happened to Mason Greenwood, and then injuries, and like Chibi
we bought Ronaldo.
Yeah, and then that was yeah, I was getting to it, Chibi, and then you jumped on me far too quickly. And then players came in, and yeah, it kind of upset the whole thing. So that was probably his best season. I remember being very excited when he first came in. Obviously, you had the Anfield goal. Like, everybody got really excited, and you thought, okay, this is someone special here. This might be something. So yeah, under Ole was probably his most consistent and best time. He had moments under like Van Gaal and under Jose and stuff like that, but I think his best season for me was under Ole.
I think it'd be one of them where you're looking back, and it could even happen with Marcus Rashford, where I think there's too many inconsistencies for whatever reasons that may be, whether it was strikers coming in, injuries played their part, of course, and other things. I just think, for the talent that he has, because I think he's one of the most talented players in the squad, we haven't pulled that out of him, and it's probably both sides, I think. I think it's probably fair to say, like you said, people had the right to an opinion, but for me, he's been inconsistent like many of our attackers and many of the players that come through the door at United, so you kind of become like a product of the environment then, and yeah, you can really go deep into it in that sense.
The only issue I've ever had with Martial, as much as I like to poke the bear with Chivy and wind him up a little bit, like, I don't have anything else against Martial, like his attitude and his body language and stuff, because I'm very much like that. I'm on the autistic spectrum, so my face half the time is quite a scowling face. Like, I look like I'm angry all the time, and I'm not. Like, I'm not an angry guy most of the time. Like, unless you want to talk about Tories or something like that, then I will get angry. But I'm not an angry guy, but this face just makes me look like I'm pissed off all the time. And Martial suffers from the same thing. It's the injuries. That's the thing that I can't do. Like, if you're an injured player and you're injured a lot and you can't be relied upon, that's where it gets. I'm like, we can't do it anymore. Yeah. Like, that's the only thing.
In the same breath, obviously, it's not his fault, is it?
No, it's not his fault. Like, you can't blame him for that. But that's the only thing where I'd be like, look, we can't be relied upon because he's just injured all the time. So.
Can I just add something, just very quickly? I get that a lot of people talk about the injury stuff, but I'm not defending that at all. What I defend is the narrative that's being created about him a lot of the times. And yesterday was a prime example of a narrative. I mean, it could have been easily, you're sick, so just train separately from everyone else. But
that doesn't get clicks. That doesn't get clicks, Jivy. I don't get clicks.
Exactly. So, but this is the problem then, and it doesn't happen to him. It doesn't happen to only him. It happens to lots of people. But this is the problem. People create things to suit a certain narrative that they will use to taint a player, and we always complain about our fan base being very toxic, but it's self-inflicted. We are the ones creating this toxic environment. We don't stick up for our players. We're very quick to throw them under the bus, and we just believe anything. We're so gullible that we just believe anything this journalist is right, and this is the prime example. So this is the reason why I stick up for him, and and this is the reason why I don't believe anything these people say. I have to check like 2 different sources before I can believe anything, not just with Martial, but just in general.
We've got C Fence in the chat saying completely disagree. If you're not fit enough to play, and when you do, you don't perform well, isn't the criticism earned? Performed well, it all goes away. Tough environment, sure, but that's football. Any response to that from you lads at all?
I mean, but who? Sorry, go on.
I think he's got a point. Like, yeah, if you're not fit, then I get it's not your fault. Like, if it's an injury, general injury, like it's not generally the player's fault. Like, if they've torn an ACL or something, like unless they're doing something outside of football that's caused the injury, then it's generally not their fault. But when he has played, we don't know for sure if he's been 100% fit or he's just playing himself through. So that's why he's looked poor, because he's just wanted to play. Because he's lost that pace. Like, since I've seen him play, he's lost everything that he did have, the acceleration, the pace, and all that. That seems to have gone. I don't know what's happened.
Sharpness.
Yeah, it's just gone completely. So he looks relatively bored, but that could be, like they say, he's got this surgery or the injury, so he might be playing injured. So it's hard to.
Adductors are in your thighs, aren't they?
Yeah.
I believe.
It's,
so obviously for movement and quite quick movements, it's obviously going to have a big hindrance on that.
Yeah, it's like your groin.
Have I lagged out?
I think Discord's having some issues. It keeps freezing.
I know. I thought everyone froze. Then I was like, I don't know what it was. Anyway, we can go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say I agree with what the person in the chat was saying. As far as injuries, we can't rely on inconsistent players. We've been saying this for a long time. So yeah, I agree with that as well. I only just wanted to say that. I mean, we can't even count 5 players who have been consistent over the years. No. Manchester United, you cannot tell me 5 players right now that have been consistently performing. So, of course, people like us are going to feel like he's being singled out unfairly. But like I said before, everyone has their own opinions, and you don't have to like a player. To be fair, like you can't help how you feel. So.
Well, from players who might be leaving in the summer to players who might be joining in the summer, apparently, according to Muppeters, United are looking at a major overhaul of centre-backs in the summer. Everton centre-back Braithwaite is of real interest. United continue and are monitoring the situation. And because obviously the situation with Everton now with the breaches and FFP and all this kind of stuff is kind of forcing Everton's hand to sell a player. More reports coming out about Todibo, Yoro, Inacio, Antonio Silva. And then there was a little piece from Rob Dawson as well that's saying considering a revamp of their defence in the summer. Varane, Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire could all leave, apparently. And the names that I just met, I think De Ligt's a name that's been mentioned as well because he's currently unhappy at Bayern Munich. Who should be next in line and why, Sam?
Well, me and Chivy had this chat. We did a news show a couple of days ago, so we had this chat. I don't know much about that Lenny Yoro. Like, I haven't seen him, so I couldn't give you thing. I know.
Continue your point, but just to switch the question up as well, if you already spoke about it, because I don't want to go into it too much. What about people leaving then as well?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So, like, when me and Chivy talked about it, he's not a fan of Todibo. We both sort of agreed that Antonio Silva could be the guy because Benfica don't miss on talent identification, and he says he looks quite good. Chivy is not a fan of Todibo because his injury record, etc.
His injury record ain't even that bad.
He had one major injury that kind of ruled him out from, because he got signed for Barcelona and just never played for them because of the injury, and then it took him a while to come back.
But the past few years, he's been sweet from what I checked. Anyway, his injury record was absolutely fine. But I don't know.
But yeah, on the people leaving, you think Harry Maguire is a sellable asset? Like, he's 28, 27? How old is he?
He's older than Varane, Maguire.
He's older than Varane?
No.
Yeah, he is.
Can't be. Surely.
Yes, he is. He's older than
Maguire.
Trust me. Keep going for your points,
Google
Sam.
it. Yeah, Google it. So yeah, he's a sellable asset. Obviously,
26.
He was going in the summer. Couldn't agree wages with West Ham, so ended up staying, and then he's had a sort of revitalisation. Despite the fact I don't think he's the centre back for us. I don't think he's right for the system and the way we want to play. So that's it. But he's a sellable asset. Former captain. How old is he, Nick?
Yeah, so he's older than Varane. He's 5th of March, 30 years old, and Varane is Jan, Feb, March. Yeah, So Varane's the 25th of April,
Yeah.
30 years old. Maguire's 5th of March. So there's literally like a month between them.
So
or
he's
something.
30.
So,
He's 30.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, this is
Wow.
the time. I think.
That's a big surprise.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he was younger. So he's a sellable asset. So I'd definitely shift him this summer if you can, because you can get some money for him. Former captain, England regular, he played well, which will probably help his price point go up as well. So that's a sellable asset. Johnny Evans, like, he was only signed to do his coaching badges. He was due to his coaching badges at United. He was signed because we couldn't get a centre back in, and then he's played way more games. Even in an interview,
all right though, hasn't he?
yeah, he's done all right. But in an interview, even he was saying, I didn't expect to play any the games I was doing. So that shows you where he's at. And then Lindelof, I think if you could sell him and get good money for him and you can replace him, great. But as a backup centre back, fine. Like, he's not going to play every other game, but you need to get that Varane next guy to step up, the guy who's going to replace Varane. Like, I'd keep all the Varane personally. I'd have Varane, Martinez, sell Maguire, Johnny Evans will go, Lindelof thing, and then bring somebody who's going to replace Varane. Like, bring the guy who's going to like eventually succeed him. I'd bring him in. That's the way I would do it.
The question is though, Chivy, do you think Varane would be happy to be that bit part player whilst his youngster's coming through? Because obviously Varane can't play every game. We've seen that with his injury records. He's available for 2 weeks and then he'll go missing for whatever reason. So is that not like a bit of a tricky dynamic?
Yeah, but even if he goes anywhere else, he'll still have the same problem of not playing all the time because he keeps getting injured.
Not the same intensity though as the Premier League. If he goes to Saudi, for example, or somewhere like that, like the schedule's completely different.
Yeah, but I don't think Varane is interested in going to Saudi. I don't think
You're
so.
probably right. Yeah,
I don't think so. I think he just recently left international football.
Yeah, retired from international football.
Yeah, so he's retired. So that shows an intent to carry on playing competitive club football. I think Varane, like, I don't want to generalize with French people, but I think he kind of knows. You know, they're very. If anything, I know about mainland Europeans is that they're very realistic about certain situations, and I think Varane will probably know that he's getting to that age. The injuries don't let him play as much as he can. I don't think him staying means he'll be a bit part player. I think in a sort of rotation sort of situation, it will be perfect. And like I was saying a few days ago in the chat, it's not just his performances on the pitch that I feel are an asset to us, but it's his presence there. Experience, is a winner. I mean, serial winner. And I think he's a leader as well. So these are the kind of things that will benefit from Varane in the changing room, training ground, things like that. I would sell, I agree with Sam, I'd 100% sell Harry Maguire because I think we can get more money off from him than we would have Varane. If we sell Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans retires at the end of the season, then we're left with Lindelof, Lisandro, and Varane. If we sell Lindelof,
Camwala as well, if you want to count
Camwala.
I want to talk about him in a minute.
Yeah, Luke Shaw can play centre back as well. So if we can get a left back, I mean, but personally, I would say sell Harry Maguire, because he's good, but I think for the modern game, I don't think he suits that sort of style of play.
There's no long-term future in it, really, is there?
No, not really. Especially if maybe we switch to a high line, his pace, like he's got no pace, right? No chance. So things like that. So I personally, I would do that. Keep Varane for the. And then I'll let Johnny Evans leave, and then sell Maguire for some money. Get some money.
Well, you don't always have to kind of invest elsewhere. I know they're going to look at Tadibo or Braith, but they're going to buy a centre back. It's basically inevitable in the summer. But there's always, you can look to your academy as well. And I think it's been a while since the last youth centre back really pushed into that position. There is significant interest in Camwala at the moment for a loan of the second half of the season, but apparently United have no plans to send him out on loan, which I think is good because I think I've liked what I've seen, even though it's been a couple of cameos. I've not minded what I've seen. Seemed quite calm and composed for a young kid. Another French centre back as well who could probably learn from Varane. Literally, kind of same thing. What have your thoughts on his cameos and how do you think he's performed? Do you think obviously it's a very small sample size to go off, so I don't want to say do you think it's going to be the next fucking Varane. But have you liked what you've seen from him, I suppose, and is that the right decision to keep him?
He's calm, isn't he? Like Chivy said, he's a calm, chill dude. It doesn't seem overawed by the situation or the occasions that he's played in. Like, he's played in the Premier League. How old is he? 19? 20?
Yeah. 19.
Doesn't seem like it bothers him at all, and that's what you need as in a defender, in anyone in that sort of position. So I think he looks calm, collected. He's not had to deal with too much. Like, he's not been put under that much pressure. So I think that's to come. Like, when if he gets an opportunity against, say, like a City, an Arsenal, Liverpool, those kind of teams, that's when you start, okay, he's going to be tested here. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm hesitant to get excited because I've been excited about a couple of young centre backs we've had and they've not worked out. I got excited about Ted and Mengi, didn't work. But he's doing really, really well at Luton at the minute. Got excited about Tuanzebe after that night in Paris. Didn't work out, did it? So it's happened before. So I'm holding on to expectations, but so far he's looked all right. I like the look of him.
Yeah, if you're height, the age, the kind of potential. I don't know if you heard any of that because it crashed on Discord again.
Yes, it did.
Go do it.
It crashed.
No, yeah, so sorry. I know I was saying if you look at Kambuala, like his height, it seems relatively paced. It seems to have all the kind of, if you're going to write down a centre back, looks like the perfect prototype, doesn't it?
Just to touch on what Sam said, he played against Aston Villa. Don't forget,
yeah.
So he's. I would say that was like a test of fire.
Sure.
To play against Villa, and it was his approach, his attitude during the game. Like there was even a time he was like, trying to get the fans to. So that kind of shows that he's kind of like I think he has the right mentality, the right approach. The first time I saw Kambuala was a year ago or 2 years ago, when there was a thing about he frustrated a striker that was playing against us so bad that he stepped on his foot. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so he frustrates this guy, like he just has him the whole game, and they're scrabbling over the ball. Kambuala falls, and then the guy stands on Kambuala's foot. Like, it was really, really bad. But Kambuala got up, didn't even push nothing. He just got up as if nothing happened, and that just kind of caught my eye. He has the perfect profile in my opinion. But we've seen that with Fosu-Mensah, we saw that with Tuanzebe, we saw that with Tedemenga, we saw that with Mark Fish,
Sean Bernard,
Bernard. Man, the list goes on and on and on. So it's hard to tell at this point if he's a real deal or not. We would always want that to happen, but I don't know. I mean, just based on what I've seen, he doesn't really stand out. But at the same time, that's a good thing because he's not making mistakes. So that could be a good thing. He has the right people that he's coming under. He's coming under Licha, coming under Varane. That could be a good thing. Coming under Johnny Evans as well with lots of experience. That could be a good thing as well. So it's a tight one. It's really tough because I remember Tuanzebe won Jimmy Murphy. I think he won the Jimmy Murphy. Yeah. He was captain. There was so much about him, but it just didn't work out. So just keep your fingers crossed, man. But I like his attitude. I like people who are like, who've got a level head. Whether you're Christian, he's very, very religious, and I like that. That just means he's level headed.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram, and it's just like he posts pictures of his Bible, religious. And he's just reading the Bible every single day. Just like,
So I mean, if you're Buddhist, you're Muslim, whatever it is, just religion kind of gives you that sort of discipline, moral compass. You know you're not out doing all this nonsense. So I'm happy with that. I hope he's a virgin as well. Like, don't do anything. Just
don't discover girls, mate. Don't fight. Don't.
Stay as you are. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be guided in the right path by Lisandro Varane and all these kind of guys. I mean, I suppose you've got to believe in God, but not the shit that goes on at United. To really need some form of belief. Because God, we are in a car crash at the moment. Anyhow, Ed Barrett saying Kambuala could be ready for use as a bench option if we can keep him sharp and hungry. There's no need for a loan. He's been waiting a long time for this. His start was plagued with injuries. I have to admit, I haven't watched like a lot of him back. I was surprised when he was in the team against West Ham. I was like,
he was supposed to make his debut last season, but like Ed said, he got a massive injury, so he was due to come into the team last. And Ten Hag picked him out, and then he had an injury, which stopped him.
Yeah. Dan's also put as well. Just realised I'm a few days older than both Maguire and Varane. That's depressing. Well,
Dan,
you're not the only one.
Dan,
the only
guy who's older than me in the team is Johnny Evans. I'm older than all of them. So
Johnny Evans, and Chivy's nearly double Johnny Evans' age as well. So, like I said, you're not the only one.
I'll probably be like Ten Hag's age or something.
Yeah, 52.
Yeah,
50. Well, fuck me. Get yourself tested, mate. If you're 52 years old, honestly. Right, let's move on to the last topic. Choupo Moting would be open to joining Manchester United this month. That's coming from Fabrizio Romano. So you can take it. As it
shit.
is.
Fab.
Yeah. Fab on via Give Me Sports. So it's coming from Fabrizio Romano. It's not like a direct quote, but I think he's been on like a podcast or something. It said it could be an option. So he's still a name that's been flying around for Manchester United. He's available and only has 6 months left on his contract. United behind the scenes will probably just be looking at him and other strikers. That position seems to be the area which United are focusing their attentions on. Lads, let's just call a spade a spade. We know it's going to be a Weghorst or an Ighalo type signing. We all know the situation. They're going to wait until the last day of the window. Something's going to pop up, probably someone we're not even fucking looking at, and it'll get announced like it's the next, fucking coming of Christ or whatever. What's the best bad striker we can get right now?
What's the point?
It doesn't exist, does it? Like, there isn't... there isn't anyone. Like, there's nobody you can get that is going to help and be a positive. Like, Choupo-Moting's not going to do it. Who was the other guy we were linked with? I can't remember his name now.
No one can, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? If you could do a deal, I'm not saying this is happening because I don't think it would. If you could do a deal for Benzema, there's your option. That's your option right there. Chuck the money at him. Like, whether he's getting paid, just chuck that at him as a loan fee or whatever. That's the option there. If you can get him, that solves your issues. Anybody else on a loan it won't work.
Just on that, right? Because Arsenal's been linked with Benzema. I guarantee you right now, if Arsenal go get Benzema, he could help elevate them. I'm 100% convinced of it. Just because he's gone to Saudi, people are fucking writing him off and saying this and that. Oh, he's just there for the money. Trust me, I'm telling you now, if Benzema goes to Arsenal, he will make a mega difference. A mega difference. Financially, that's the only concern, isn't it?
Chelsea are looking at him as well, aren't they? Apparently.
I was just about to say that Chelsea are in for him. Arsenal are looking at him. He's looking at Europe in general. So we're going to need Casemiro and Varane to get on that phone.
We're getting the Madrid boys back, the spine. Varane, Casemiro.
So
Benzema, 5 years later.
Let's hope he don't speak to Ronaldo about like what it's like
God,
here. Yeah. He'll tell him no, don't go.
Karim Benzema though, like if you talk about a seasoned striker who's fucking done it all, mate. Like he's been super underrated, mate.
On loan as well.
He's done for Real Madrid.
6 months loan. Like, I'll do that all day. 6 months loan all day.
100%.
Like, what have you got to lose? You got nothing to lose. Like,
mate, a 2-week loan. Like,
yeah. No, because the options that are out there at the moment, he is the best. He's honestly, and the far cry from that was Werner, and he's already gone Spurs. Yeah. So you ain't getting better than that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Benzema or just forget it. Just go and get Joe Hugo back from Burton. Basically, like,
where's Charlie McNeil? Where's Charlie McNeil? Get him as well. Like, you know
where's the Preston or something? But what is the point, guys? What is the point? Like with the whole Weghorst and Ighalo and Choupo-Moting.
I know Weghorst didn't score, and I know he won't be deemed as successful, but the impact he had on Marcus Rashford, did that warrant getting him?
What impact?
So I'm saying, I believe, in my opinion, again, people can disagree with this, but I think Weghorst coming into the team and the legwork he put in that, whether he was playing as a 10 or playing a striker, I know he didn't score, and I'll take the fucking brunt for this, but I think he made Marcus's game a lot easier because of shit that he was putting in the team. I think he opened up spaces for Marcus Rashford. I think that was underappreciated, just in my opinion. I thought it was.
Oh yeah. I kind of get that. I
remember Nou Camp playing as a 10. I was like, why the fuck are we playing Weghorst as a 10 at the Nou Camp? You can see the dynamics, like the spacing and stuff, and his movement off the ball. But obviously, goal scoring wise, he did fuck all. Like, cried when he scored against Real Betis, didn't he? But that was it.
I mean, but I get what you're saying, but right now, I don't think that's what we need. We need. I mean, that's McTominay is doing that now.
We need
He's
goals.
taking up the space.
We
He's not leaving. He's taking it up.
We need
Exactly.
goals. We need someone
need goals.
scoring.
This is what we need right now.
Nobody's scoring. Like Rashford ain't scoring. Garnacho ain't scoring. Anthony's not scoring.
I mean,
Højlund.
our central midfielders are like our highest. Casemiro and McTominay have like the highest goals.
Yeah, Casemiro's been out for fucking 8 weeks or something.
And he still has more.
And then Højlund, it's his first season. He's a young striker, and you just expected him to bag when he's got 3 of the most selfish players behind him, not passing to him. And you just like, we need goals. Like, that's what we need.
Benzema or bust. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a lot of people. I said this as soon as I heard there was a slight link with him, which there usually is with a lot of players for United. But as soon as I heard that link, I was like, get him. And people are like, well, what wingers are going to pass to him? Blah blah blah. But I think Benzema's that type of guy. He can drag players into it. Like he can drop and he can link play, and you know what I mean. He'll demand that service. Højlund's, raw. He's not been at the club for very long. Players like Rashford have been there fucking 8 years or whatever it is. Obviously, they've been there longer, but I'm talking about playing senior football. He's been there a lot longer. So it's hard for Højlund to kind of demand that. Do you know what I mean?
Benzema as well.
Absolutely.
Benzema as well also played with selfish players. He played with Ronaldo, played with Bale, played with people like all selfish players.
Yeah. And he played for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's But another thing about Benzema that's so underrated is just how smart he is. Like his movement is crazy. Like him and Cavani, their movements as strikers is just insane. Like the way they draw players with them. Like, so I can see what you mean. Like he can actually bring players in. But my only hope with Benzema is that he is from the old school, so he remembers United the way a lot of us remember United. And he's one of those players where, like Varane could have easily gone to like Bayern Munich. I don't know, somewhere, right? But he's the way they see United still the same way we used to be like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it might still represent some sort of prestige for him. That's the only tiny hope I have. And of course, because we have this thing with Real Madrid where lots of their players have come over.
Casemiro as well said the same thing, didn't he? He was like, when he was going and we lost against Brentford and Brighton, he was like, I'll fix it. I'll come in and I'll fix this. Because he wanted to be part of the United revival. Because he remembers United from back in the day.
Yeah. So it's one of them things that, I just hope he kind of, plays a part in this, because, like, what are you going to do at Arsenal, really?
I think you might say that. But this might not be a well-known thing.
Yeah.
Do you know who the top assist for Real Madrid is all time?
Is it Benzema?
No, Benzema.
Benzema.
Wow.
165 assists, 30 more than second place. And do you know who's the second top goal scorer for Real Madrid? Benzema.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And do you know who scored mega important goals for Real Madrid in semi-finals, quarter-final, like massive moments and creating it's Benzema.
Second goal scorer for Benzema for Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, yeah, 354.
So he's more than Puskas.
354 goals he's got for Real Madrid, second.
So who's number one?
Ronaldo.
Oh, I thought that Puskas guy was.
Nope.
Oh, right, okay. Cool.
So it goes Ronaldo, Benzema, Raul, and then Di Stefano.
Sorry, Di Stefano was who I was talking about.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. People forget sometimes what Benzema's done for Madrid is a madness. So I would love that.
He was never the main man either, like in Madrid. He was never the guy. He was never the guy, the superstar or anything. He was always surrounded by the superstars. So coming to United, you're not going to expect to be the main man like Ronaldo would or somebody like that. Yeah. He understands the team and stuff like that.
That's what I love.
He's been there since he was like 22 or 21 or something. Like he was there for a very long time. Very long time. And just kind of helps he kind of reminds me of like Rooney, the way Rooney just plays for other people at Man United.
Rooney played everywhere, did he? He played like central midfield, he played in different positions.
He's a nucleus in it. That's I think the perfect way to describe him. He is a nucleus of a team. Really, really good. Right, I'll end on these last few comments. Chupo Moteng, sad faces. Ed Barrett saying we don't need him. Ahmad can take up the slack. Shreya saying we're just bringing in someone to fill space, not to make us better. That's the worrying part.
Yeah.
Keep the money for the summer. If our wingers provided service and a quality striker might be worth it. A young Cavani is something we need. I'm telling you now, Ahmad will be a surprise for a lot of people. Ed Barrett, I am on that fucking bus, mate.
I would kill for Cavani, right? Like prime Cavani, man.
Yeah.
Oh, genius.
Just get a season striker, and if it ain't Benzema, then go bust. I think that's what we're all gonna agree on, isn't it?
That's a good shout, though, but I'd
we ain't
love to
winning
see
anything,
Ahmad
are
back
we?
in there.
Like, we're not winning anything this season. Like, we're not doing anything this season. So what's the point? What is the point in getting in a striker like Choupo-Moting to do what and to win what? Like,
well, Sam, your manager still thinks we're going to win the league. So
yeah, okay. So did Bruno. Bruno said the same thing. I was like, Bruno, you're out of your fucking mind, lad. Like, what are you talking about?
That would, I mean, I know Leicester was a shock, but if United went on and won the league now, that'd be the biggest shock in history of anything. Like, really, really would. Anyway, we can leave dreams kind of at the doorstep with United. Thank you for everyone who's been tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video. I'm going to record the members video tonight. I'm going to look back at the top 10 matches from the past decade for Man United. It's going to be a little highlight clips there, and we're discussing them in depth. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. If you are a member, if you want to become a member, click the link in the bio, or click the join button next to the notification bell, and drop us a follow on socials as well: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, hit us up. Cheers, Chivy and Sam. Have a lovely weekend, everyone, because it is Friday tomorrow, of course, and we'll be seeing you shortly. Take care.
Peace.
We want Blaze Out, say we want Blaze Out. We want Blaze Out, say we